how you doing? It's Mitch from Hard Intentions YouTube channel. We also have Hard Intentions website where we sell t-shirts and all that good stuff. Look, some prints of my art. Appreciate it if you go check that out. I mean, you might find something that you like. So, I want to talk about, homeboys. Nowadays, homeboy is like guys from your hometown. He's your homeboy. And, back in the day, that was kind of true, but really it was guys from your hometown that you were good with. And in some cases, guys would tell you a person wasn't a homeboy unless they grew up with him, unless they were from, a certain part of town that they were from, and that they grew up with that person, then they were a homeboy. And, I'm from San Diego, and I'm from Lakeside, which is a town in San Diego. And I had a homeboy from San Diego who is from Escondido. He's actually North County, which is, about as far away from Lakeside and still being San Diego County as you can get. But his name was George Miller. And, he's passed away. He passed away before I got out of prison, so I didn't get to see him out in the world. All the times I knew George, we're in juvenile hall actually together. First time I went to juvenile hall, I think was his first time in juvenile hall. And we were young kids, 12 or 13, something like that. And we just it was all single cells. I think some guys had double cells, but we weren't cellies. But all the time we were out of the cell, we were kind of close to each other. For some reason, we gravitated towards each other. We were both in a similar situation that, it was an alien environment for us. And George was a pretty smart dude. He was a little guy. He wasn't that tall. But he had a big ass heart, I'll tell you that. He didn't take no shit, even back then when we were little kids. I liked George, and I think that's why I liked him, because he was a little guy. He was smart. He could recognize what was going on, and he knew how to deal with situations and adverse situations. And I just liked him. He was funny. The older you got, the funnier you got. But so we ended up going to this Rancho del Rio, which is Rancho del Campo. It's a juvenile camp, county camp. And I was there about a week. And I said, hey, George, screw this place, man. The food sucked. There were a bunch of idiots around us. I was getting in trouble, fighting. He was fighting. We just kind of stayed with each other, and we didn't really mess around too much with other people. And after about a week, I said, hey, man, let's get the hell out of here. And George says, yeah, let's get the hell out of here. So nightfall came, and we took off. And I talked about this in one of my episodes, We took off, we split, and we walked all night through the hills, thinking we were going to get away. And, we're talking about how we were going to hide out. And, we thought we were the shit, I must have been 12 or 13. I think I was 12. And the next day, they make you wear like a maroon corduroys at camp. So we're like hitchhiking. Car pulls over and we get in the back seat. And we tell them, where you guys going? They go, back to camp. These guys worked at the adult camp right down the road. And they knew we escaped, Took us back to camp. And if you got in trouble at camp, they gave you dead time. Like you're going to get a dead week, which means you have to do an extra week for your bad behavior. So me and George are in the office, and the guy's like yelling at us, telling us how fucking stupid we are, and all this other shit. And he goes, "You know how many dead weeks you're gonna get for this?" And we're like, "No." He goes, "You're gonna get 10 dead weeks for this." Now, when you're a young kid like that, 10 weeks of extra time on top of this, like 6 months we were supposed to do there, that was an eternity, you know. So we said, fuck that. So me and George are talking like, "Hey, I ain't staying here, George." And he goes, "Hell no, I ain't staying here either. Rather sit in juvenile hall than be in this shitty place, you know." And so we told him, "Hey, fuck you, we're not staying here. You give us 100 dead weeks for all we care." And the guy got all pissed off. And he's like, "So you're telling me you're not staying here? You're going to run off again?" We go, "Yeah, fuck you and your camp. So they sent us back to juvenile hall. And I got out on a 30-day trial behavior thing. And at the end of that, the judge saw me, and he placed me in at the time what I thought was my father in Montana. First time I ever met this guy that I thought was my dad. And I stayed there about 2 months, and it didn't work out, so I went back to San Diego. I thought, I'd just go home. And when I got off the airplane, they arrested me and took me to juvenile hall and sent me to youth authority because the court ordered me to go live in Montana with this guy, my dad. And so I violated the court order when I came back. They gave me 6 to 9 month board referral, they called it. And I went to youth authority for the 6 to 9 months. And when I got to the reception in Norwalk, there was George. He'd been there a few weeks, And I say, "Hey, what's up, brother?" He's like, "Not much." We were the only guys really from San Diego there. And he was with me there for about a week or two. Then he split and he went to Nellis. And he told me, "Hey, bro, this is not juvenile hall. This isn't county camp, because we got guys there now from L.A., Orange County, all over Southern California, even Bakersfield, stuff like that, And it's the first time him and I actually got exposed to like black gangs, Mexican neighborhood gangs, stuff like that. There really wasn't a lot of that in San Diego juvenile system. So he told me, "Hey, watch your back, bro. This ain't the same." And so I ended up going to Nellis, and they put me on the same unit with George. And as soon as I got there, man, somebody stole my 8-track player. And I told George, "What do I do, bro?" He goes, "You better find it, man, and get it, because otherwise you're going to take everything you got." And I went around digging through people's lockers. And they're like, "What the fuck's that guy doing?" And he's like, "Hey, he's looking for his shit." He was kind of laughing because he'd been there a month or so. And the laundry room guy ended up fessing, said that somebody gave him my 8-track player and gave it back to George, who gave it to me. And he said, "Hey, better secure this." And I think I ended up tearing the motor out of it, making a tattoo machine out of it. But that was my first experience with, predatory behavior, in jail. And, we were in a dorm with like 50 people, like, I don't know, 15, 18, Southern Chicanos, 25, 30 blacks, and 4 or 5 whites, maybe 6 white dudes. So it was quite an experience. If they caught you around the side of the building, they'd rat pack you. 4 or 5 dudes would jump on you, Crips, beat the shit out of you. If you didn't fight, you were going to be victimized really bad. And some of the other guys were okay, but me and George, we just kind of grew closer together, man. And yeah, it was quite a deal, man. We spent a couple years there, I think. Well, about a year plus. I ended up getting transferred to another youth authority, but I spent a little over a year with George there. And as a young guy, man, I mean, this was all foreign to me. It was all new ground, you know. But what I did learn was some of the things I heard growing up about, brotherhood and trusting your bro and having each other's back and all that started to come into play. And I knew that George had my back because if somebody was talking about me, George would come and tell me, hey, this guy's saying this or that. And I'd go fuck the dude up. And vice versa. If I heard someone say something about George, maybe we'd both go fuck the guy up, But, he was a little guy. He wasn't that tall, man. And at that time, we were kids. He wasn't that big either, Later on in life, I met him in prison, and he was kind of yoked up. But I'll tell you what, he had heart, man. He would go in the cell and fight with people, and no matter how big they were, And, yeah, George. And then, I ended up getting out. And I went back to youth authority, and I saw him again in juvenile hall briefly. And I did my year in youth authority, second term, got out. And when I got my case, it sent me to prison. They have a stairwell that you got to go up and down on when you're going out to court and stuff. And I saw George in the hallway. Now we're both, we're in the county jail. George is a little older than me, a year or two, And I said, hey, bro, what's up? We hugged each other, man, smiles, laughing. And I said, hey, bro, I'm going to prison. He goes, I know. And yeah, I could tell, man, it hurt him. You could tell the way he talked, the look in his eyes, he says, man, I'll see you later, I said, yeah, I'm done. He goes, yeah, you're done. Sure enough, I was done. Man, I'm going to prison. But I mean, I could tell that we were, even though we hadn't seen each other in a while, our bond with each other was still there, and it hurt him to see me get that case and go to prison. But and then I would always hear about George, in prison. As time went on, he went to prison, and guys would talk about him, like, yeah, George this, George that, and I'd figure out what prison he was in, and I'd shoot him a kite through somebody else, and once in a while he'd shoot me a kite, George got into the dope and all that shit, but he was a gangster, North County, Escondido gangster, he was. But in the 90s, early 90s, I went to Donovan down to San Diego, and I seen him. He was on the yard with me for a while, doing a pro violation, By the end of a term, George stabbed somebody or something, guy was fucking with him, and he got love. He got very little time for it. And George was that way, George, he would get just a little bit of time. He didn't get a whole lot of time always, but he was in and out a few times. But, he would ask me, hey, how's your mom doing? Get caught up with me about, the board and what I was doing to try to get out. And I said, hey, bro, they're not letting me out. He goes, yeah, that's what it's looking like, And that's the last time I saw George, But George is a homeboy. And, no one could talk bad about George. See, that's the thing about someone like that who's a righteous homeboy from my town, from Dago, is they're not going to let no one talk shit about you, whether you're there or not. And I'm the same way. We have a homeboy that just passed away from where I'm from. They call him the Lord of Lakeside. And he was quite a guy. A lot of people didn't like him because he was a stand-up dude for his crew, and he put in some serious work out in the world. on more than one occasion. You know, he did some time in federal prison a couple times. You know, I seen him around as a kid, and I didn't get a chance to meet him out in the world because he passed away before I could actually get down and see him. But anyways, I remember being in a prison, man, where you know he had a lot of adversaries, and I was kind of the only person there that would speak out and say, hey, you know, yeah, this guy or that guy's my friend. And someone asked me, hey, you know this guy? I said, yeah, I know him. Even though I had never met him as an adult, he was my homeboy. He was the Lord of Lakeside. I knew about everything he had ever done. I knew what he was about. He was a stand-up dude, you know, and Guyzilla. And guy says, yeah, if I ever see that dude, I'm gonna, you know, and he made some veiled threat, you know, and I said, so this is where the homeboy thing comes in, because I know him, I know of him, I know about his activities out in the world. I said, hey man, I don't think you would do that. I said, I think if you tried to do that, that dude would cut your head off and shit in your neck. And I said it real matter of factly, and I says, you're not gonna bust a grape with that dude. And so that's the way George was. He would do the same thing. That's the way we grew up, you know. And that dude just kind of goes, yeah, and he walked away. But had he pushed the issue, you know, we probably would have went in the cell together. You know, him and his crew were pretty deep, you know. But you know, that's what homeboys are, man. I mean, true homeboys are guys that got your back. They give you good advice. When you need help, they'll be there to help you. Whether it's driving up to a prison, like I talked about, old Frank, my old homeboy Frank Mulholland, you know, coming up the cell and sliding me Copenhagen and shampoo and whatever, you know, a little weed. Or if, you know, they got your back, like if, you know, you need some backup with a problem. That's what homeboys are, and that's what they do. So George was a stand-up homeboy, man, and so was our homeboy that just passed away, the Lord of Lakeside. And you know, there's other guys down there, like I spoke of, someone who's actually an adversary of my homeboy that just passed away, the Lord of Lakeside. He's an adversary of his, and he said, hey, look, man, this is how he was. He said, if you're in the county jail and you got a problem with another race or something like that, I'm going to back your play because you're my homeboy. And he says, and then if somebody has a problem with me because of, you know, what I am, and he was in a bike club, and he says, and we can deal with that afterwards. That's homeboy shit right there. That's hometown, you know, for us, that's hometown Dago, you know. Yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to speak on George and the Lord of Lakeside because they both passed away and they both meant a lot to me. And here's the deal with homeboys, just because a guy's from your hometown doesn't make him your homeboy. You know, it just means he's from your hometown. When a guy shows you, man, that he's a stand-up dude, that he has your back and he has your best interest at heart, that's a homeboy. That's a friend. You know, I got homeboys, they don't say homeboy, they don't say bro, they say friend, you know, or, you know, what's up, home dirt, you know, all right, you know, or I'll write a letter, you know, your friend and homeboy. That's what it's all about, and you have to recognize that in people before you make your choice to throw your hat in the ring with them, you know, because you throw your hat in the ring with the wrong guy, it can get you killed, and you throw your hat in the ring with the right guy, and it can improve your life 100%, you know, like as far as advice and as far as opportunities and as far as, you know, just having someone on your team 100%, that's a homeboy and that's a friend. And George was definitely a homeboy and a friend, and I will miss him. And the Lord of Lakeside was like, you know, he was our action hero when we were kids growing up in the town, you know, and we're gonna definitely miss them. So I just wanted to speak on that tonight before I fall out, because you know, I've been working down there in 100-degree heat. I'm sorry if this video isn't that long, but I did want to speak on this issue before it slipped my mind. You know, all these things are fresh in my mind. So you guys take care and choose your friends the hard way. Thank you.